We're getting ready to go ahead and crash our friend Evil Chunk. He's been doing a series kind of similar to Shifty Chunks, not inspired at all by Shifty Chunks, by the way. I just want to make that clear. We both started posting around pretty close to the same time. But instead of doing an hour locked chunk like Shifty Chunks, he is doing it based on the Posty Pete random event. And if you fail that, you get teleported randomly across the map. And I think it's such a genius idea. I really love the way that it is using the in-game mechanics to forcibly move him around. So we're gonna go find out where he's at, meet up with him, and hang out with him and see how things are going. Also, before I go meet up with Evil Chunk, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the channel Also Agile Tom, which is Agile Tom's second channel, where he posts his Chunk Chat series. Watching his stuff inspired me to do this. It's a good series. You should go check it out. Is that you? Hey, I
In
see
this
ya.
sector. Oh, hey. Oh, whoop, I passed you. Yeah. No, actually, I came into this current sector where I am right now. God, we're just failing. Um, this current sector where I am right now, up
There we
at
go.
the that bar that's up there, the lumberyard,
Okay, yeah.
and then I just rolled a whole bunch of chunks around here, and then finally, like they're basically nothing chunks, or I had all the upgrades already, and then rolled down to this one, and excuse me. Since there is a single goblin spawn over near the dig site that drops a bronze axe, I'm now here until I get wood cutting up to use and fire making up to use or unless I get teleported out, of course.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that goblin. That thing is a pain in the ass.
Have you? I've only checked out like maybe a dozen of your episodes, and not necessarily in order.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah, no, I understand. There's a lot of them.
yeah. You spend a lot of time up there or something, or revisit that a lot.
Yeah, I went through, I got bounced between the corner chunk with the willows near the panning zone
Mm-hmm.
in the dig site area. There's like a willow tree
Right.
over there and the goblin. And I think I went back and forth like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, I'm actually really familiar with the trees in any given part of the world because on that other account, I cut down every tree in the game once to a certain point. Not every tree in the game once, but so I know where you're talking about for sure.
Yeah. Did you make a series on that or was that just for fun?
I did make a series called One and Done, where the whole concept was basically treating the game like real life, so no respawns, and a big part of that was woodcutting. But it just never got the views. I kind of dropped off on doing it and stopped when I picked this up. So there's
Yeah.
probably a couple hundred hours of footage of it, sitting in a hard drive somewhere, but
Oh,
they
wow.
may or may not ever get produced. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fun. The cutting every single tree, that sounds rough.
It's not as bad as you think. It's really interesting. There's some very unique places all around RuneScape that, you'd never think there are trees or the crazy shit you have to do to get to them. And believe it or not, I'm thinking up a Chunkman series that's based around that concept. So, chopping all the trees in a chunk, and I think I'm
Yeah.
actually eventually going to go back and do it again for a series on the Chunk Evil channel.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Would you mind introducing kind of what your series is and like where the idea came from and what made you want to do this?
Yeah, sure. So the idea came from Levi Bowiem. He's bad advice Iron Man. He takes bad advice from his audience, and anyways, he basically just shot out the idea on Discord. It'd be crazy if someone did a chunk account based on the idea of failing the Molly random event, and when you do that, it teleports you to one of I think 32 different locations, and basically starting their account that way. And I kind of took it a step further and said that, or no, he actually did propose the idea of every time you see it, you have to fail the event and go to a new chunk and basically keep going until you can connect all the chunks. So yeah, that's where the inspiration was from, I guess. Might have lost the first part of your question. So
No, you're good. Yeah, I really I think it's such a cool idea. So we both kind of have a similar time blocked account where mine's an hour, but yours is kind of indefinite, right?
yeah,
Um,
it's it can be an hour, but it could be 200.
yeah. I love that yours, like I'm really jealous of it, that yours is a mechanic in the game because I'm just using a timer outside of it. And so it works okay. I'm happy with it. But the idea that you're not having to do anything external to get yourself to move, I think is so like just clean. And I'm really jealous of that. I thought it was such a cool idea.
Yeah, I that was kind of the thing that sealed the deal because one of the things that was a huge problem with the one and done account was tracking everything because had to track every tree I chopped, every monster I killed, every item I picked up. So there was always tile tags and notes and just massive lists of stuff. And I really wanted to get away from that in all possibility, you know. So
Yeah.
whenever I realized like this could all be controlled through that, it was yeah, that was the nail in the coffin, so to speak, for starting the series.
Well, how's it been going so far? Is it different than you thought it would be? Is it similar? What has your experience been?
It's yeah, it's I you know I really didn't know what to expect whenever I started doing this. I kind of had an expectation that since I was moving around a lot, I would have access to a lot of different like shops and weapon upgrades like almost immediately. But as you can see by my gear, I'm still sitting in some like free to play gear.
I like that amulet.
Really,
That's
except
a
for
nice
the
one. Or the necklace.
yeah that classic gold. Yeah. It's a rare one. You don't get that in too many places. No.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like I enjoy that aspect though, because I'm not upset that I don't have these rune armor or anything by now. I'm enjoying that since I get to use things that you don't ever get to use, and these pants have been with me since day one. I think I'm 7 months into the series, and like it's crazy. I've been to almost 30 chunks now, and I have not been able to get pants. Like it is insane. I can't believe it.
Yeah, pants are pretty rare, huh? Not a lot of a lot of
Honestly,
helmet drops. The thing that I was surprised by with my account is how difficult it is to unlock towns. I don't know if you found that to be a similar
unlock
issue,
what?
but
I didn't quite
ta-
catch that word.
yeah, towns, the cities,
Oh, towns. Yeah.
they're
Well, a lot of my chunks actually are in towns. So,
oh, are they? Nice.
this is like minor spoilers for my series, no clue when this is coming out or how fast my series will be coming out. But like I've hit Yanil and Varrock and Edgeville by now, and that's not all of them. So, uh, yours is kind of limited by like you go from adjacent chunks. So in only
Mhm.
so many hours you could do a full circle and not hit a town. But for me, I think it's actually a pretty fair percentage, like almost 50-50 if I hit a town or I don't.
Oh, is it?
If
Okay.
you yeah. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
So you said there's 32 chunks that you can go to,
I
that you can get teleport to.
I believe it's 32. You think I would know by now. It's a little different because there's I think there's 34 locations across 29 chunks. I think that's what I should really know it. But some of the locations double up. Like Faldor, there are 3 different locations I can get teleported. So I actually have an incredibly high chance of ending up in Faldor, all in that Central Palace chunk.
Okay.
So, like one of the things I did was I got a really early clue scroll step in a different chunk, and then I saved it, and it was for Faldor, and I saved it until I got to Faldor, and it was a dud, of course, but it was still cool to import a clue scroll from one chunk to another.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, let me go grab real quick. Sorry, one sec. I'm gonna go grab my forestry backpack.
Yeah,
What do you find is harder for you, to film or to edit? Which one do
to
you
edit,
which to
100%.
edit? Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes so much time, and I'm not really sure. Currently, I only have one video out on YouTube, and the reviews are pretty positive, so I don't know like what the overall perception of like my editing level would be, but that is pretty high level for like what I believe my level to be. So it takes a lot longer than people probably expect.
Yeah, I'm sure. You do a ton of extra stuff beyond just the clips that you record.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna tone it down a bit.
Yeah. I I don't blame you. Yeah, I watched your first video and I was like, man, this must have taken forever. How long did it take you
I mean,
to edit that first video?
I mean, like the ideation of coming up with like the intro and everything, that honestly took a couple months.
Yeah.
Kind of embarrassing to say. But from putting it together, like first clip down to last clip down, probably like 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm not like editing day in and day out. I have a day job and
Sure.
stuff, so yeah, maybe a couple hours a day and a couple heavier days on the weekend, like 4 to 6.
Well, I think it shows. I think your series is so good. It's one of my favorite ones out of I mean, I watch a ton of stuff on YouTube, especially playing, and I'm excited for your next video to come out. You said next week, right?
Yeah, it's always next week. That's what the answer will always be. So no, it should. I say that. I was like, I thought I had so much more done whenever I sat down today to like really put the finishing touches on it, and I still have so much to do. So I don't actually know. Might actually still be a week yet in real life. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I kind of screwed myself a little bit with the high bar for editing because now I kind of feel the need to live up to that standard a bit.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
That's why I set mine so low. I started off with terrible mic, terrible editing, just all over the place. That way no one can be upset when it is bad again.
I feel like that's a tradition. Most people start with a bad mic and some stumbles and stuff like that. So I've gone through the ringer a couple times with series outside of RuneScape and series inside of RuneScape. So I had a little bit of prior knowledge of what to expect.
What's been your favorite part of doing this series so far?
Probably just the chaos. Like I really I could be here right now. Let's see, I have a random event coming in 37 seconds. I could be whisked off to another chunk right now. And that really keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
It's really interesting when I have a bank because I really have to play this like weird game of balancing efficiency with preparation. So, I want to have a lot of bank space to do things or inventory space to do things, but I may need to have certain things in my inventory in case I get pulled away.
Do you have like a staple, like what are your staples in your inventory that you make sure you have every time?
An axe. There's just
Yeah.
trees everywhere. So an axe and a tinderbox or a knife, maybe both if I'm not doing something really inventory heavy at the time. Just so I can do fletching, because I prefer to do fletching over fire making just because fire making goes so much faster. But and there's a lot of bad fletching grinds I feel like around, but
Yeah.
maybe a pickaxe as well, because it seems like mining spots are actually pretty hard to get, at least in these early levels. It is. There's a lot of like iron and coal around, but not like necessarily tin and copper.
Yeah, tin and
So
copper seems really rare. That's one of the things that I've also had issues with is progressing mining for a while. Is like I really had to focus that when I see them.
yeah, it's weird. You think it's everywhere when you're playing normally, and then when you actually have to pay attention to where exactly certain spots of it are, there's a surprisingly few amount of tin and copper, especially on the mainland continent. There's quite a bit in Kourend. Keep in
Mm.
mind, I mined all the ores in the world too, for the one and done account. But yeah, the out here it's surprisingly like sparse.
There's so much early stuff stuck in Lumbridge. It feels like it's just everywhere. But then you move away and you can't go back, and you really start to notice how much stuff you run out of.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other stuff that like that's like that where you don't really see it. Like one of the things I see very rarely, and I expect you probably haven't seen much at all, is like maple trees, since they're all over in members area. And a lot of my teleport locations are over here in the kind of free to play area, so maples are almost non-existent. I haven't seen
Yeah.
one yet, so.
Yeah, I had a couple maples on the Isle of Souls, but other than that, I haven't seen any.
Oh man, you made it all the way to the Isle of Souls, huh?
Yeah, I got stuck there for a while. It was a pretty it was a pretty
Oh, that's
interesting
right.
time.
Yeah, I opened up one of your episodes and saw you'd been talking about bouncing around that island, like going in kind of a circle for a long time, weren't you? Like four
Yeah.
to 6 hours or something. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I had a little sliver that only had one exit. So it kept putting me in that and then back, and I just kept going back and forth between that for a while. And
oh,
it was an interesting time.
I love that though. I mean, like, that's awful, but I love that you can get caught in that loop. That's such an interesting thing to have happen.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I like it. Some people it bothered a couple people, but I think it's okay. But what do you on your series in your description, you call it a semi-extreme. What is the semi part?
So I'm probably closer to a vanilla than an extreme chunker. I go for the highest level skilling challenges, make a myth plate body with a myth bar, if that even is that actually. Um, but I'm entirely skipping skill capes. There's so many locations that I have that are riddled with skill capes. So if I actually went for 99s when I hit one, then I'd just be stuck forever bouncing around going for those 99s. With all these weird varying, XP rates, and then also having a bank and not having a bank. So yeah, I opted not to do skill capes. I also basically anything that's non-chunk specific, like shooting stars. I don't have to do the 90 mining grind if I land in a spot like right here, actually. Forestry events don't count for me either. It sounds like I'm like copping out. I feel like whenever I say all these things, but they just like if I'm stuck in a chunk until I get all the forestry event like pieces, there's no point in me even. Well, I don't know. I kind of lost that train of thought, but I don't know. It's since all the chunks have like the forestry events, why would I'm gonna be moving around to different chunks so I can see them anywhere. I feel like it's kind of stupid to do tasks around that. One of the weird things I'm doing is no implings, no tasks from implings whatsoever. So I'm not even going to enter Puro Puro. So since I'm discarding that as something that generates tasks, I'm also not going to allow myself to benefit from it. And same for overworld implings. They're kind of just. I'm working on the rules video now, so they're like little Kinder eggs that I get. That's just little treats. So.
So can you catch them or are you not at all? Are you
No, I can catch the overworld ones, but I can't utilize Puro Puro for farming them or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. I gotcha. Yeah, I think that's a good rule. I think it's cuts both ways type of thing. The I think something that's different between with our accounts versus normal extreme accounts is it's so much more about exploration. And so excluding things like shooting stars and skill capes and stuff like that makes a lot of sense to me because you're slowing yourself down on a something that you can do as you're moving also. And it just kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to lock yourself into one place when you're going to be moving anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. Obviously.
Well, would you mind, do you want to show me around your current chunks and what grinds you're working on here?
You're looking at it, man. It's all
Yeah.
this. I'll show you around, of course. Oh, hold on. We're gonna need to get this fire making level real quick, though. I gotta
Okay. Yep.
literally one log. Bam,
Hey, GZ.
43 fire making party. Hey guys, Shifty showed up for my fire making party. No. Um, yeah. So this is the bottom of the current sector. I think this one is like 5 chunks. That kind of stretches up to into the wilderness, actually. So I'm getting dangerously close to the zombie pirate grind, which is
Ooh,
terrifying for me because
yeah.
I can't bank. So all this stuff is on me, and if I die, I basically have to go back to Lumbridge. If I die to a PK, I have to go back to Lumbridge with none of my stuff and wait for another Molly random. So that's absolutely terrifying to me. Um, yeah. I had to do, mining up to iron over here real quick. Pretty much nothing over in the dig site. I have just this little sliver of. I assume you have region locker on,
Yes.
with the chunk borders. So I got like this little sliver with the T stall in it, and this little bit of Varrock that's walled off, but I can't actually get into. And then, interestingly enough, the chunk that's just to the west of us, not this one, northwest of us, where the sewer is. That's one of my Molly teleport locations that I got sent to a couple times now, actually. And I'd really love to connect that back because then I would have a lot more no, I guess I'd rather have the bank and then that, so I could actually have a bank to bank for Bryophyta kills.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopeful, just wishes right now. Yeah, so this also, let's see, I have one chunk to the east where Silveria is, so I've started the what's that quest
Rag.
with
Is
the
it
where you
rag and
collect the
bone?
bones? Yeah, Rag and Bone Man. So I can mine limestone up here. I've started that. I kind of wish I hadn't because now I start getting the bone drops from like rats and stuff like that,
Oh
and
yeah.
bats. But I can't actually access vinegar to boil them and turn them in yet. We don't actually need to walk up here actually. Oh, we can walk around. I forgot we could go around the lumberyard. This is how I PK Shifty. No.
Yeah, luring me out.
Yeah, I'm sure I do well against the level 124 with my my myth sword here.
I don't know those
Can you
camel
walk around
pants.
this? Oh, I
Hey.
thought it was for me.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I I don't have a Jagex account, so I don't get those. So I am just 2 quick rolls away from zombie pirates.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Yeah, pretty terrifying.
Cause that's a lot. That's a long one, right? That's got like it's like a one in
I
five
mean,
K for the
I
anchor
haven't
thing,
even
right?
looked at it. If I'm being honest, I'm honestly scared of it. Like,
Yeah, I
but
don't blame
if
you.
I for me to get there, I still have to get the huge wood cutting, oh my gosh, yew chopping with a bronze axe and fire making for yews. So it'll be a long road there. And if that happens, I will absolutely do anything else in any of the chunks I can first before, you know, doing a suicide mission over there. Um, Maybe that's a bit of a cop out, but I can't even get the Molly random while I'm in the wilderness. So it is truly a scary area for me.
Oh, it doesn't. I didn't realize that that doesn't
No.
happen in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Any
Should we
random event that teleports you out of the area, you do not get in the wilderness.
should we hop the ditch and just in case?
Yeah. Sorry. I
No, you're
didn't
good.
realize we were right there. Yeah, and I got the bar here. Oh, well,
Nice.
I'm done showing you around anyways. This is basically the end of the tour.
Do you have Scurious unlocked or not yet? You're almost there.
Um, so when I'm in that chunk, I do. It's one of the teleport locations, but no, I don't currently have that chunk connected to this sector. So I have to, um, because I got teleported in here to this chunk, where we are right now. I rolled out of that area, and until that connects back to like one of the Molly teleport locations, I can't re-enter an area like that chunk I've been. Even though I've been one chunk to the west, I can't re-enter that area until I roll it from here, basically. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
sorry, that was
Do you?
a long way to get there.
No, you're good. Do you have a favorite chunk or like a chunk that you're hoping to get teleported to?
Hmm. I got a couple on the list. I would like to get to Wizard's Tower, just so I could start Rune Mysteries. There's a lot of I've done like half of the Knight's Sword. Going from Faldor to Varrock, that part
Yeah.
at least. So I'm curious to see if I can get the Knight's Sword done without connecting any of those chunks, because one of the locations I can get teleported is the Thurgo chunk that
Okay.
I believe that you can get inside the Asgardian Ice Dungeon to get the Blurite from there, and I can get red berries right now. Like I have all the tools to do Knight's Sword right now, except for getting to Thurgo Chunk. So I'm excited to do that. Let's see. I'm also excited to get to Draenor just so I can start hopefully training agility. I am still level 1 agility, so I'm really tired of that.
Yeah. Yeah, run
Um,
energy is a huge pain. What are you lamping?
I am still lamping Hunter right now. I
Okay.
have thought about a lot of different things, but just the access to like food from even just food from baby implings is so valuable to me in certain chunks where I can't like buy it or get it without killing some tedious creature. But
Yeah, that was
it,
something that I didn't expect with my series is how hard it would be to get food.
it's crazy, right? It's nuts.
Yeah, I've
Like
had like two places that was better than giant rats. It was like I've had a few giant rat places and then I've been able to make in one chunk. But other than that, it's been like nothing.
yeah, I had a really really rough go of it in my second chunk. I was in which is just a bar, no food but imp drops, and that is just torture. And I had to do ogre kills for a longbone. That episode is the next one that's coming out, so I know that'll be out before this. Yeah, that was a really rough chunk. That was a disheartening chunk. uh, but yeah, I got really lucky, and uh, I hit up I'm trying not to give away too much because it really tells a lot. But I came across a food store in one of my chunks and had to do the classic pita bread grind because imps were also in that chunk,
Yeah.
and that stocked me up on a lot of food for chunks where I only have a bank but still no access to food sources. So that was super handy. Still sitting on quite a big store of that.
Oh,
But
that's good.
yeah. Actually, no, I just thought the number one chunk I want to unlock is Lumbridge. So if I die, I don't have to do any more waiting. That's the top of the list.
Yeah. Yeah, so can you tell me about how you came to that decision about Lumbridge? Because if I
Well,
was doing your account, Lumbridge would have been my starting chunk and unlocked. But you did not make that choice.
yeah, that was a discussion that went around in the Discord. So I'm actually not even the first chunk evil. There was a guy who is working on his series now who did a chunk evil before me, like a couple weeks. I was on vacation when that message dropped in the Discord, and I was just itching to start the account, but I was on vacation, and he started his first, and we're like on good terms. There's no like bad blood or anything. We
Sure.
chat all the time, and exchange notes and stuff. And but kind of lost where I was going with this.
You're good.
What was the question again? Sorry,
The Lumbridge. So Lumbridge
Lumbridge,
being
right? Starting in
locked.
Lumbridge. That's what he did. So I believe he started doing like training in Lumbridge, but that was a discussion we'd had where, like me, Andy, and that guy, Levi Bawim is Andy, um, about like it'd be really hard core if someone just like said nope until it gets unlocked. You don't even do the training there, and if you die, you don't walk back to your chunk. You keep that music list clean. And I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm gonna stick to the hardcore rules. It's kind of weird. I'm a semi-extreme chunker, but like I'm a hardcore evil chunker, I guess. So
So for in your first video, what was the time frame from when you started to when you finally got your first posty Pete?
that was 22 hours of waiting. And I guess that's in the video, so you know that it's 22 hours, but in real life, I think that was actually only like 2 days. I also said in the video, this is gonna sound bad because I just talked about having COVID like last week, but I had COVID during that very first week when I was starting it, right after I came back from vacation. So I just had like crazy, weird, messed up sleep schedule, and I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for random events the whole time. And so yeah, that was just 2 days, but I put in 22 hours of playtime just sitting in Lumbridge waiting for random events.
That's that's nuts, man. That sounds. I don't think the series. If I did it, the series would have never came out. I'd have been like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. I.
Man,
It's
just wait till you
very
see the next
impressive.
episode.
Yeah.
It puts the first weight to shame. It's
I
nauseating, man. It's bad.
I remember in the chat when that was all going on for your second episode, talking to you
Yeah, I
about
was
it.
kind of losing my shit a little bit, wasn't I?
So what is your end game goal? What's the thing that you're looking at? Like for me, I'm looking kind of towards the max cape. Like that's my,
Dude,
long-term
man,
future vision.
I can't even look that far ahead. I can't imagine a max cape on something on your account, let alone my account. Actually, I think yours is a little bit crazier for that goal, which is nuts. For myself though, I kind of, classic chunker, haven't really thought it all the way through to the end game, or well, maybe most do, I guess, but I kind of just want to try to see if I can connect all the molly chunks. So I think that'll
Okay.
be goal one, but without giving away too much, and you probably know this, but I don't want to say it on recording. There is a very, very intense challenge, and one of the chunks I can end up that will be the final grind that I do, and and yeah, that's all I want to say about it. So
Sure. Yeah, no, that's cool. If you say you do connect all the Molly chunks, will you stop letting her teleport you around or will you keep that up?
that's a good question. I haven't really decided on that because, like, if they're all connected, unless it's like some weird, U shape from one end of the map to the other. It's not. It's kind of just an inconvenience at that point. It doesn't really add
Yeah,
any like suspense or too much detriment to the account. Doesn't really add that much restriction. So I'm not really sure about that. Um, I have kind of been leaning that I'm not really sure if I'm going to continue the series after I connect the Molly chunks. We'll see where it's sitting with the whole YouTube game and stuff, but I have a lot of other ideas that I want to pursue with other types of series. I kind of like the idea of making different challenge accounts and playing those out for a certain amount of time, but not like
sure.
maxing them or anything.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a really good goal because it'd be 32 different accounts spread across is going to have a lot of interconnecting. I mean, you're still talking about years of the account.
Oh yeah, it's tons and tons of chunking. So I'm not worried about the timeline or a lack of content. I'm a little bit worried about repetition of content. Like if I get two similar or one chunk that repeats over and over for a extended period of time, but I guess that's basically just like being a normal chunker, so I can deal with that hurdle when I get to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does get weird with these types of accounts getting stuck in the same place because you get so used
Yeah,
to having to change things up.
I haven't been sent back to the same chunk that I was in yet, like basically landed in the same location or been sent back to um like a chunk that I was in like the previous chunk before or anything like that. It's always been a new chunk for me, which has kept it really fresh and pretty thankful for that because I think that'll keep things fresh in the series for the first bit.
Well, the cool thing too is when you do go back to a chunk, you're going to be so much further progressed that you can knock out challenges that were, gates before, things that were keeping you from moving forward, being able to go back and like take care of it right away.
Yeah, I was really expecting more of like kind of an interplay between chunks where like, oh, I know I have this goal in this chunk, so I need to, this and then I end up in another chunk that has a better training method for that, so I need to pursue this. But in this early game, it's been kind of just do the easiest thing as quickly as possible so I can actually get some progress in a chunk. But I had my first instance of it earlier. I think it was actually in this sector. Excuse me.
Okay.
Or the one I was in last. But I have a pretty steep thieving task in one chunk that has a poor training method, like really low level things to pickpocket. And
Yeah.
I landed in this other chunk that had uh, guards, which were just like, not terribly much better, but at least like a couple K better XP an hour. And I
Yeah.
went ahead and did that to the level requirement for like the next best thing in that previous chunk, if that makes sense. So it's
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of a,
No, I totally get that.
yeah. I guess you get a lot of that, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Like a lot of I choose grinds based on where I hope I'm going a lot of the time. And it works out okay some of the times. But I'll do
Yeah.
like I remember I was in Lumberage or the Mistle and Mystery chunk. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
The so I was
Lots of trees there.
doing
Yeah.
yeah, I was doing fishing because I was like, well, I'm not going to have a chance to fish for a while, and this would be a chance for food. And then I remembered the tin and bronze was there, and so I barely squeezed out 15 mining in that like 40 minutes or whatever I had. But that saved me a ton because then the next thing I saw was iron. I don't know if I've seen bronze and tin since then.
Really? Wow, that's crazy. Have
Yeah,
you,
if I hadn't
well,
gotten that, I would have been stuck for on mining at least.
yeah, I was in some chunk where I had bronze and tin. Got a maze random, and I think I got like to like level like 13 or maybe like 14 even, and was like almost at the level of iron, which is really when the mining expands out because there's a lot more deposits of iron across the continent.
Hmm.
And I got teleported out like within maybe like 45 XP of level 15, and like there
Ooh.
was nothing for me to do. So yeah, that was rough. Luckily, I rolled down here and hit this mine, so I'm have a much more respectable mining level, and I've been hitting up a few stars while I'm here, which has helped a lot.
Oh, nice. How much Stardust do you have by now?
12.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I have a
Yeah,
bronze pick.
yeah. Yeah,
I love how you're like, how much? Like 12. Yeah. You mean K? Nah, nah. 12, brother. 12.
yeah. No, I understand because I mean, you also, not only do you have to be in the right area when it falls, but it has to be the right level, which is an
Oh,
annoying
I
part
just hit
about
up the
stars.
Star Miner clan chat. Well, you're only restricted to an hour, so I guess you don't have as much of a chance of it. But I've been here for maybe 12, 14 hours now, so I can kind of wait out a star, so it's
Oh,
not too
okay.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I had one star land while I was mining on the Isle of Souls, and then I saw all the star miners show up, which was kind of a fun thing. Something a little different to keep me preoccupied while I was power mining iron. Who inspired you to start making Chunkman account stuff? Was there any series that you enjoyed watching before you started, or was it mostly the guy who
Um,
brought it up?
no, I mean I've been watching well RuneScape series since settled, of course. Um,
Yeah.
but I've been watching Chunkers since Alex Bailey. I picked up chunking series before Limpwort was putting out videos, and was really disappointed whenever Alex stopped putting out videos. So, but recently, I mean, Josh isn't gaming, brought me back into watching chunk series, I guess, within the last like year or so. That was like the big one that I was like, yeah, I need to start watching these again. But since then, I mean, I've checked out, you know, everybody. Hannibal, Spoon. I feel bad naming people now because I'm gonna miss people inevitably. But um, Hannibal, I've just been watching his Supreme series and Faladaddy, Buzz. I enjoy both of them. They're so soft spoken, but they're doing like the most intense grinds ever. It's crazy. Uh, let's see. Relicer, I really, really enjoy his. It's like a really nice balance between like pacing and editing. Um, Let's see. I've been watching you, Shifty, of course.
Oh,
Uh,
the best one. Number one Chunkman series on YouTube now.
right. Yeah, yeah, totally. I've been watching Frey a lot too. He's just got, the craziest grinds. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of like, anybody that's really. I think Josh probably inspired me the most to actually make the series, like especially to the level of editing. Not to say that I'm close to his level of editing by any means, but to really like put like the final push towards making it something other than just like, my client on a screen to
sure.
really actually
Yeah.
like put those you know final bits in there, I guess, and like kind of put
Yeah.
a more storytelling and exploration on it. So yeah, I'd say Josh, I guess. Um,
Yeah, I was thinking about that, kind of the difference between a lot of chunk series and like thinking about other forms of YouTube, and where like my stuff is probably closer to daily vlogging, and where your stuff and Josh's stuff is a lot closer to video essays, where it's like way more in depth, a lot more information, a lot of emphasis on the editing and the style. And I think it's a lot of fun. The variety of things that you can find within the same similar rule sets.
yeah, I really appreciate like the variety of different delivery methods, I guess you would say, for some of the different series. Like he's I don't know if I describe yours as like I guess it is kind of like a vlog because you do like daily or every other day, don't you? Like
Yeah,
videos.
every other
Yeah,
day.
that's gotta be so hard to produce, man. Like even
I
just slapping that into an editor, and I know you do more than that. Um, that's gotta be a lot.
it's
So
I
kudos to you.
honestly thank you. I actually started a second series because I was getting too far ahead. It was
Yeah, I feel that it's so easy to play the game, but so hard to edit, right?
yeah, well I have 15 unreleased videos on my account right now that are like ready to go and set. And people started complaining about seeing them on the playlist, saying like, "I want to watch whatever you have ready to go, but I can't." And so I was like, "Well, I guess I should start doing something else." Because I got
That's a unique
my,
problem to have.
I think so. the What typically happens for me is I wake up at 3 o'clock every morning, and it is a curse that I cannot break. My father has it. My grandfather has it. We just can't sleep. And so I wake up at 3 and then I'll record from about 3 to 6. And then my kids start waking up and I'll help them get them ready for school and stuff. And then I typically edit from about 7 to 8. And I just do that every day.
Wow, that's impressive, gotta say.
It's been fun. I enjoy it. It's something it's a nice way to start my day and feel like I've done something, I've made progress, I've accomplished something, and then I can go and live the rest of my day until about 7 p.m. where I am like a zombie because I'm so tired. But
Yeah,
I'm an
I
old
kind
man in
of,
that
kind of,
sense.
I kind of suffer from the same curse where I maybe don't wake up at 3, but I kind of like wake up at like 4 every day. And
Sure.
sometimes I can get back to sleep, but sometimes I can't. So that is where a lot of editing hours go too, as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, I have a really physical job. I work in greenhouses, like cleaning and like watering plants and stuff. So when
Okay.
I get home from work, especially if I haven't, been waking up early to edit or something, like I'm just shot. So
Yeah. Oh
sorry
yeah.
to anyone who's waiting on my videos. That's why.
Blame the greenhouses.
That's right. I don't need to
Well, man,
touch grass. Oh, sorry.
no, you're good. I really appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything
Oh,
else
totally. It's
that
been great.
we didn't cover? Anything you wanted to say before we wrap this up?
Um, I'm not really sure. I kind of get lost in the conversation. As I forgot questions a couple of times, I didn't really plan anything to say after. I think I've had a great time. I appreciate you showing an interest and wanting to talk to me about it and stuff. And yeah, I'm excited to see where both of us go.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be fun. Well, everyone, I think anyone watching this, definitely go over to Chunk Evil, subscribe to their channel, and I don't know how to end this. It feels.
Yeah, I kind of forgot we were doing a podcast, honestly, halfway through. So yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
is that me or you?
that's gotta be you. I don't have a
Oh wait.
horseshoe backpack. What do I do?
Oh yeah.
I don't even
I
know how to
don't
do
know.
this.
I've never seen this before. Build
Oh
unfinished
God.
beehive. Okay,
This is
it's
how you end it. You fade out on this as we're
figuring this out. Hey,
do I need
construction
logs?
XP.
I'm getting construction XP. This is crazy. Yeah, that did work out. That was I think that's a perfect way to end the podcast, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.